T to the G, man. Who you think it gonna be? All right, and this one takes us back to Florida, but this is gonna be on my Urban Topics playlist. So the title of this one's gonna be Florida woman set up a man to be unalived, but was set up by her boyfriend in return. Now, before we get in this video, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you're one of my day ones, you already know what to do. Drop a like and a comment like you guys always do. Now, without wasting any time, let's get into it.
Try to run by the spool, devil them not. Ain't chasing no hole cause the bitch be thoughts. Run the game on me, that's all she not. Try to run while I'm on the clock.
Or when it's going to end. When you buy a time series, you give them a blank check.
Wow. Wow.
News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking tonight on the 10 o'clock news, we're learning new information about a shooting and crash on Jacksonville's north side that left a driver dead on I-95.
Only both players who fall from rookie and if
A Jacksonville double murder earlier this month was part of a $20,000 gang hit, according to an arrest warrant. We just received these mugshots.
$20,000 gang hit. Who out there don't like you enough to spend $20,000 to end your life and to come up with a diabolical, elaborate plan to carry it out too? Let me know, like, what's going on outside? Like,
Shots of Jaquan Mills and Diamond Harris arrested last week in the murder of a local teenager and a man who was driving him for Uber.
Jacksonville woman who killed an Uber driver and his passenger is set to learn her punishment. Diamond Harris pleaded guilty to the murders of the Uber driver, Brian Grun, and the passenger, Antonio Tilley. We're told the passenger was a 19-year-old man with a $20,000 bounty.
Fam, you ever thought you played somebody and then you realize you the one got played? Like somebody was...
yes, actually, I do. Let me know in the comments if you guys had that feeling as well.
Fam, you ever thought you played somebody and then you realize you the one got played? Like somebody was playing chess with you in real life. This story a prime example of that. You see, we got a young woman who tricked a man out his life by setting him up. The whole time she was tricked and set up by her own boyfriend who used her as a pawn. But then you look at the bigger picture of the story and realize her boyfriend was a pawn to a bigger war. Because like they say, once one body drop, ain't no looking back from that. Now this young girl who we'll later talk about got arrested with her boyfriend, but now she's the only one charged. And check this out. But then the last...
Wait. Okay, because check it out, right? This story is as old as Jesus, Methuselah, even before that. The woman who leads the man down the wrong road and he ends up unalived. Like, that's been a story since Sodom, Gomorrah, Adam, Eve, all of that. But the question I have, actually, I've never seen it to where the woman gets arrested. Usually it's the woman gets arrested, then she tails on everything, and the man gets all the time. I've never seen the man not get no charges or no charge, and then she gets it. So let's see.
Arrested with her boyfriend, but now she's the only one charged. And check this out. But then the last 2 days, she pled guilty to 2 murder charges, and she wasn't even the one to pull the trigger. Now, it's been a lot of rumors on why this situation we'll later discuss had went down. But it seemed the man who lost his life, who was the target, as mentioned in the intro, had a $20K hit on his head. And we'll later go over some of the things that he did within the past year of him losing his life that possibly made him a target. But it's important to say this out the gate. If you live in life trolling people and people who lost their life, you're not doing nothing but making yourself an even bigger target. So in this video, we're going to go over the public facts of this case. And we also going to go over the public facts that's not mentioned in the news. So before we go over this, remember, I don't give you no.
I think you got the tea.
No angle. I just give you the story. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, this Jaquan Pickens, a.k.a. Jake Jit. He's a rapper from Florida. He made it.
I know that his name didn't. I know his rapper name ain't Jake Jit. Nah, don't do him like that. Don't do him like that. Don't do yourself like that.
Fam, this Jake said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We'll jump right to it. Fam, this Jaquan Pickens, a.k.a. Jake Jit. He's a rapper from Florida. He made his biggest track about 2 years ago that featured his associates from 6 Block, K Shorty, and La Cracker. It was a track titled After Ops with a little under 8 million views and count.
Okay.
Pockets full, devil them not. Ain't chasing no hole cause the bitch be thoughts. Run the game on me, that's all she not. Try to run while I'm on the...
But on the 3rd week of August of 2023, Jake Jit would get chased by his opposition on the freeway. He was also shot. He ended up crashing into a semi-truck that was a FedEx truck, which is later key to the video with this opposition trolling. Before the news had reached the masses on social media, a man driving by had posted this clip to social media, and shortly the news had picked it up.
How much it's going to cost, or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check. Fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance.
All you got to do.
News starts right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking tonight on the 10 o'clock news, we're learning new information about a shooting and crash on Jacksonville's north side that left a driver dead on I-95.
I'm still trying to figure out how the other Benz is on the other side going the opposite direction and it's there parked. I don't know how that works, but
The sheriff's office gave an update on the investigation within the past 90 minutes, saying it all started with gunfire near the Trout River Bridge around 3:30 this afternoon before the driver crashed into the back of a stopped semi.
Taking a look at video from our DOT camera earlier tonight, all northbound lanes of I-95 were closed for several hours. This happened during peak rush hour traffic. Those lanes finally reopened about 7:30 tonight. And this is a live look at the roadway. News for Jack supporter Khalil Maycock joining us now live tonight. And Khalil, JSO still working to find out what really.
They are, and that's because they don't have too much information at this time.
This is another reason why watching the news has always been hilarious to me, because sometimes the news anchor or I think they're called anchors, or the person in the field, their voice does not match their body at all. That shit is crazy. Let me know if my voice matches my body or face or whatever.
They are, and that's because they don't have too much information at this time. They do say that the man who died is believed to be in his 20s, but they don't know his exact cause of death. They don't know how many shots were fired at his vehicle or a suspect information. So this is a video. ASO says they don't know what could have led to the shooting, but they're working to find out. They also say there were some people on the highway at the time of the shooting, but they weren't able to give them too much information. JSO also doesn't have information of a suspect, but they say it's possible the victim and the shooter may have known each other.
It does appear to be isolated. It doesn't appear like it was random. So we just encourage anybody, just always be aware of your surroundings.
It didn't take long for Jake Jit opposition to mock him on social media. And one of those individuals was a guy named Tilly, just 19 years old. It seems he repped an alleged gang called NHG, No Hospital Gang, who allegedly the founder is a member.
Like, I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I feel like even the rap music, like, y'all just getting more ghetto and ratchet. Like, y'all don't even try to even dress up the name. I remember when 50 Cent first came out, we was like, yo, that's a crazy name. Like 50 Cent. Like, now you got Jake Jid and Never Survive Gang or whatever the like Never Going Home Again. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
gang called NHG, No Hospital Gang, who allegedly the founder is a member that's locked.
They changed that to Never Going Home Again.
Up to this date, a guy who go by the name of Queso, who's allegedly the right-hand man of Jacksonville State, a guy hospital gang.
Because we know Queso.
Who allegedly the founder of an alleged gang called NHG, No Hospital Gang, who allegedly the founder is a member that's locked up to this date. A guy who go by the name of Queso, who's allegedly the right-hand man of Jacksonville superstar rapper Young and Ace. It was only 48 hours since Jake Jit had lost his life, until he wasted no time going to his then Twitter account and writing, "The F they mean," with the picture, "Hi, your package is delayed due to," with nothing else mentioned. And then he wrote, "I'm mad as bruh, my package still ain't come. What's going on?" And then this man had the nerve the next day to post Jake Jit deceased body from inside the vehicle on his Instagram. How we got it? Your guess is good as mine. So as you can see, Antonio Tilly Jr., at just 19 years old, had a huge target on his back. And having a 20K bounty could possibly have something to do with all that trolling the deceased. 5 weeks later, since Tilly made his distant tweet and post, he was ambushed, shot, and killed after he was assuming he was meeting up with the girl who was allegedly the girlfriend of his opposition. Fam, meet Jaquan Mills, 22 years old, and Diamond Harris, 23 years old. Apparently, they was boyfriend and girlfriend. It was October 6, 2023. A double M had took place near Kalen Drive for a high-dollar contract killing. Detectives believe Harris had lured one of the victims, 19-year-old Antonio.
That's crazy, though. Like, human life is worth so little to people, but they think it's high. $20,000 for your life. Like, That's not even Ford Escape money. Like 20,000, like that's not even a car. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are losing their whole lives for that's not even rent for 8 months to a year. Like, that's crazy.
Tilly Jr., who thought he was meeting her for a date. Investigators accused Mills of killing Tilly instead and collecting half the bounty, $10,000. And caught up in this hit was the Uber driver, 31 years old, Brian Grunt. May he rest in peace and love and condolences to his family. Mills and Harris was arrested.
That's crazy how the Uber driver lost his life. They wasn't even sparing the Uber driver. I guess they serious about that no hospital ish.
A month later.
Jacksonville double murder earlier this month was part of a $20,000 gang hit, according to an arrest warrant. We just received these mugshots of Jaquan Mills and Diamond Harris, arrested last week in the murder of a local teenager and a man who was driving him for Uber. Community advocates say this shows how out of control gang violence is here in our city. News 4 Jax reporter Vic Michelucci tells us detectives believe the victims were set up.
A high-dollar hit. Jacksonville detectives believe this October 6th double murder in Moncrief was not random.
Oh, in Moncrief, too? Oh, shoot, okay.
Instead, it was a gang-related contract killing worth $20,000.
The dollar figure that's attached to that is fairly high.
We found this information in the...
I just went on a whole tirade about how I thought that was low. They're like, it's fairly high. Oh, shit.
Arrest reports for 22-year-old Jaquan Mills and his girlfriend, 23-year-old Diamond Harris. Detectives believe Harris lured one of the victims, 19-year-old Antonio Tilley Jr., who thought he was meeting her for a date. Investigators accuse Mills of killing Tilley instead, collecting half of the bounty on his head. Police say they've identified another suspect involved in the murder, but they're still trying to track that person down. Tilley's Uber driver was caught up in the violence and also killed, shot in the car he was driving to make a living.
He's caught literally in the middle of this $20,000 hit. Unbeknownst to him,
he's been identified as 31-year-old Bryant Grund, former JSO director.
That's crazy, man.
Director Tom
lose your life at work for something that had nothing to do with you. That's wild.
Hackney says it shows the senselessness of gang violence.
In order to successfully prosecute a case like this, you want to be able to answer as many questions as you possibly can. And that does it. It spiderwebs out from there about who not only who completed this hit, but who set the hit.
Jacksonville police told us earlier this year they were tracking 32 active gangs with nearly 600 members. They're responsible for a large number of the city's shootings.
The solution is that we have to be more involved.
AJ Jordan with Mad Dads is calling on the community as gangs continue to wreak havoc in the city.
AJ, we're looking at cases where gang members are arrested in mass sometimes, right? Police are getting a lot of gang members behind bars, but then we're still seeing gang violence. Is it just new people filling the void?
It's always been one down, one up. It's always somebody to take their place. And
yeah, that's how.
And once again, that comes back.
Same thing with crime. Same thing with politics. As soon as one president is gone, there's going to be someone there to take his place, like, or her place. You know what I mean? Same thing.
Back to the community. When that one pops back up, we have to turn them in. We have to get them off the street.
Why are these primarily young men getting into gang violence?
I think it's a combination of everything, a breakdown of the home, not having fathers in the home, mothers working all the time, and just not having enough to do to keep them busy. I talked to one a while back, and he know the consequences of it. But he said, it's worth it. That's what he told me. He said it's worth it because they get a lot of money really quick.
I did reach out to the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office.
And that's something that's also a little more scary. When you give somebody the options, they even see what the road leads to, and they still say, I'm gonna do it anyway because I'm not getting no money living the square life. This is where we have to come in as a community and try to figure out that option. Maybe there's got to be somebody like me out there, like, who can help them start a YouTube channel, or another person out there who's good with engineering and show them how to create a studio, and they could be an engineer. Like, you know what I mean? There's got to be another step. We can't just be like, oh, well, you got to get the money, so there's no choice. There's got to be something we can do. Like, dang. Let me know in the comments if you guys have any ideas.
about this case. A police spokesperson told me that it is still open and an ongoing investigation. So JSO wasn't going to comment, but he said detectives are hard at work.
Now, it's been 7 months since they've been arrested, and it seems only Diamond Harris is still charged for the M. Her boyfriend, he walked away scot-free, and authorities is not giving a clear indication onto why. You can only assume he may be cooperating, or he just walked off due to lack of evidence. But
I'm thinking cooperated, just because the fact of how they know about the 20,000 and they know about a lot of ish, and only she's charged and you going home. So unless she told on herself and you ain't say nothing, but they only have enough evidence to charge her, so she told on herself, so she's got to get the charge. I don't know.
Diamond, it seems she pled guilty to both M's, and she had the nerve to ask the judge for some mercy.
Jacksonville woman who killed an Uber driver and his passenger is set to learn her punishment. Diamond Harris pleaded guilty to the murders of the Uber driver, Brian Grahn, and the passenger, Antonio Tilley.
Isn't that sad? We're like, people are going to remember you for the rest of their lives, I should say, with that picture. Like, I ain't talking about the Uber driver. I'm talking about the youngin', the 19-year-old. Like, they couldn't find nothing more of a representation of like your good side. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy.
We're told the passenger was a 19-year-old man with a $20,000 bounty. The shooting happened back in October of last year. Harris was originally charged with accessory in the murder, and her charges were upgraded a month later to second-degree murder. Harris faces up to 2 life sentences and is set to be sentenced at the end of July. The other suspect in the case, Jaquan Mills, was released from prison. His murder case no longer exists in online police records. We did reach out to the state attorney's office to learn why that's happening.
It's a very unfortunate situation. I want to send love and prayers to any.
Let's get it. Yeah, man, I think that he must have gave up evidence against her and she told on herself at the same time, because if she had all the... Actually, no, that doesn't make sense at all. The only way this makes sense is actually if she told on the whole situation, everything, and he stayed quiet, but due to a lack of evidence, they arrested her and they're still gathering evidence to go get him arrested. That's the only thing I got. I don't know how much time she got. I hope they threw the book at her. I'll look it up and let you guys know, or maybe somebody can let me know how much time she got. But hey, if you made it this far, that means you put in some paint where it ain't. And for that, you need to be thanked. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share to be aware. Put me in that algorithm because I need to be there, man. Because I know there's 10 other streamers out there doing it like me, but...
Fuck that other little 10. I'm maxed out.